Hello, hello. Here we are again, coming to you from Broadcast Team Alpha on 44 different platforms around the world. And we're going to have some fun tonight. My name is Aage, and I'm the host because my co host Nori has a huge thunderstorm sitting above her, so she couldn't get on the internet. And we're going to miss her, but we'll do our best. Anyway, I also want to give a shout out to the Conscious Awakening Network. We are streaming live over there also, and you got to go visit those guys because they got close to 50 different shows over there about all the stuff that you and me need to know about. I spent some time over there and I enjoyed every second of it, so I think you will too. And also, let me tell you how you can get in touch with me and Nori. Go to broadcastteamalpha.com. Go to the contact feature and send us an email, and we'll get the email and we'll get back to you and see maybe what we can do for you. So that's uh, that's all I had to say about us, except for that if you like what you hear tonight, please subscribe. That's going to help us a lot because this is going to be a very special show because we have a gentleman on here with us that had a face to face meeting with extraterrestrials, and that changed his life. It put him on a different path and was a little different than what he had before. And I was kind of overwhelmed when I read his bio, the 3 pages of it, because there's so much he has done and what he has accomplished, but I just couldn't talk about all of it. So I'm just going to say a few things. And and first of all, I think we're going to start out hearing about that face-to-face meeting with the extraterrestrials because really that's what people want to hear about right away. And he is also an author, and he got a book out there. It's called, get this is good, Wake Up and Do Something. I love the title. And there also contained the lyrics of his 2 music albums. Yes, he's a musician also. As you can see behind him there, his room is full of guitars. So, and he you find that wake up and do something.com. That's where you can go also and hear more about that. And he has a band. The band is Terra Normally. The Terra Anomaly. Yeah, Terra Anomaly, I think it is. And for a more complete account of the face-to-face meeting with the extraterrestrials, because he did almost an hour show explaining all of it. You will find that on sedonaufos.tv. And I tell you, folks, that is worth going to look at. I did, and there's some phenomenal stuff in there. I hope we get time to mention most of it in concept anyway, because of time. So welcome to the show, Michael Sedona.
Thanks, Augie.
Yeah,
Yes, Mike Lowe Sedona, living in Sedona, Arizona.
yep,
What could be better?
yeah, he's right up the road from me, about 4 hours.
Yep, yep. And about
Yeah,
4,000 feet. Yeah.
yeah, I've been to Sedona. I love the place. And it is kind of special, not necessarily only because of the people. There is things up there, energies that is
It's
different than
special
most.
because it's special because of the things. It's weird because of the people.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that
can
could be
say that.
also. There you go. Hey, I did mention that face-to-face meeting with the extraterrestrials, and can we
I gotta kind
start
of give
out
a
there?
I kind of got to give a little bit of a backstory to get to that point,
Yeah,
for it all to make sense. Because people are going to immediately ask, well, weren't you afraid? And all these kind of things when no, I have no fear, but I'm trained to have no fear. But how did that happen? Well, I got to go back a little bit. So when I was 2 years old, I was gifted all mathematics through analytical geometry, through pre-derivative calculus, and through what America calls the wonder years. I was in a different school every year, a different city every year. And I never opened a book in any of the classes that I was in. It's got straight A's pretty much without trying because I had the math. And once you have that level of understanding of the math, everything is easy. Language is easy, music is easy, history is easy, everything is easy. And then you throw a photographic memory on top of that, and it made me a really good candidate for uh, extraterrestrial guidance, shall we say. Now, I didn't know as a child that they were involved in any of this. But at 2, I had the math. And so when I went into kindergarten at age 4, having already read Grimm's Fairy Tales, book 1 and book 2, and having my multiplication tables through 12s memorized, I went into kindergarten and I was astounded that none of the other kids were even thinking, let alone at higher levels of logic. And so I'm trying to teach the kids how to do math, and the kindergarten teacher, she didn't know quite what to do. But uh, as I got older, I realized it wasn't my place to do the teaching. But I had an opportunity in I should mention one other spot in 1966. I was in 3rd grade in Glendale, California, and I woke up 7.5 years old. I woke up with this dream, okay, that gave me about 2.5 billion years of our solar system's history from the celestial level to including and back, and also jumps including what started this verse, which was not a big bang. The fact that there is no such thing as an electron, various things of that nature that I was given in 1966 in a dream.
Mm.
So of course, some of those things are just now being discussed in the British science journals. But I knew back then at that age. So I've had this, and by the way, mathematics is the creator's language. I don't know if anybody ever realized
Yeah.
that. So once you understand the language to that level, of that open a mind, because I was uncontrolled in the system at 7, 6, 5 years old, that it really gave me an opportunity to filter everything that came in through this mathematics. So if I was given BS, like let's say Santa Claus fitting down a chimney, I hope there's no children watching. I knew immediately that's not possible. The physics is not allowed. I watched Roadrunner and Bugs Bunny and stuff to laugh at the flaw in the physics.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, much else of what was going on, but I did understand the flaw in the physics, and I really enjoyed the parody at 8 years old or whatever of the
Yeah.
physics
I love
violations.
those. I
Right.
love those guys too.
So me. So it's like as I move forward, in 5th grade, it was 1969, and the Apollo 10 and 11 thing was happening, and I lived in La Crescenta, Montrose, in California, which then was just called La Crescenta because the big freeway hadn't been built yet. And all those apartment complexes and everything through there were engineers and their families working for JPL and NASA. Now, you've heard of NASA. Never a straight answer.
Yeah.
Not a space agency. Yeah. So it's a
That's a
cover,
new. Yeah, that's a new one.
right? It's a cover up. Anyways, so NASA and JPL groups were there, And I'm going to school at Lockyer Center Grade School at the time, and finished 5th grade and 6th grade because I could go at my own speed with the curriculum that they had. And UCLA was there to recruit me at the end of 5th grade. I was 11 years old. And this was something that my stepfather, who was the president of Peruvian Airlines at the time, very much aware of all the stuff in Peru and all the real history, not the revised history and all that. He went, this doesn't smell right. And we left California and came to Arizona. And that's where I've been ever since. And I graduated early, tore up 2 free boat scholarships to major universities, and ended up doing my best to stay away from the military because I play every instrument. I've had rock bands since I was 14 years old, and I want to have I wanted to have that kind of life. So I ran away from home at 17 to make cool rock bands in Phoenix, and had one, by the way. Anybody in Phoenix in let's say 1980, 81, 82 might remember the band Seal. That was a arena rock band before the black guy ever was heard of. And there was 6 of us in the band, and we played some major shows through the Phoenix area, but we didn't get that record deal we were all looking for. And so I had to get a job. When I cuss, I usually spell the word. So I had to get a job. So I went to this place that tests you to see what, kind of industry they can place you in, and then they get a fee for placing you. And they put me right smack dab in government electronics division of the major electronics company in the Valley at the time. I'm not going to mention their name. I'm not going to give them a free plug. But I was put there and immediately had a secret and a top secret clearance, and was 19 years old. And I found myself working on missile systems and satellite systems and then re-engineering things, but I don't have a degree. So that's not supposed to be possible, but I'm re-engineering their drawings for them and saving them scads of money, which they had to pay me a percentage of. So they promoted me. So it was my job description. So they didn't have to give me those bonuses anymore, which was great because I got into what I wanted to do, which was high-end RF missile system level engineering and technology. And everything that hangs on an F-14 Tomcat, from the Harm to the Phoenix to the AUG-9 weapon system itself, I worked on all that stuff. And I was 22, 23 years old, and teaching the Oak Leaf boys over at Pendleton how to use the stuff I invented, which was my hair's down to the middle of my back. I got a rock band in Phoenix, but it's like my day job is a missile and satellite systems engineer. I'm both hardware and software. I ended up getting my degree in 1990 in software engineering, computer science, software engineering in 17 months, summa cum laude. And then I decided to retire. So by retiring, I had to free myself of the karma of making all of this missile, satellite, anti-tank weapon, all this other kind of stuff that I was using and doing with this company. And I went into children's education and became a 3D animator through Macromedia in less than 6 months. And then about 2 years later, became an Apple developer. So I'm concurrently I'm a Macromedia and an Apple developer, building software that included, by the way, the Element 115 3D animated alien drummer. Okay, if you look up Element 115, the band, I made this using the software that was through Macromedia that allowed us to have on stage a 3D animated alien drummer that accurately hit every drum and cymbal on every song. But before that, stepping back, so 1990, I leave the company and start getting into children's education and that kind of stuff, doing CD-ROMs and CDI and DVD. And then was asked in about 98 to join this group called the Inner Circle. And the Inner Circle was our whole reason for being was to uncover cover-ups.
Mm.
So Carla and I, my wife and I, we became the 16th and 17th members and final members of the inner circle. And we discovered Kincaid's Cave at the Grand Canyon, located exactly where it was, all that kind of stuff. They didn't like it. They
Mhm.
chased us away with an invisible helicopter in 2000. We discovered Turret Mountain, which is a weather weapon north of Phoenix. I put chemtrails on talk radio in 1999 or 2000, and they really didn't like that, and the CIA threatened our lives. But I immediately put it on television and T-shirts and websites and flash
Yeah,
animation shows, and I mean everything that I could, so people could
yeah,
become aware
yeah.
of chemtrails. And as a person who grew up in an airline family, I know exactly what chemtrails are.
Mm.
Then then weird things after we started uncovering this stuff, weird things started happening in our house. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a ball of
Can
light
can
through our bedroom. Go ahead.
can I ask you a question? Because you,
Yes.
before we get to the alien or the extraterrestrial part, you mentioned element 115. Were
Yes.
you able to keep that stable for more than a split second?
Okay. Element 115 was the name of our band.
Oh, the band.
The band. So if you
Oh
look up,
boy.
because I never lie, I never exaggerate, I never
Uh,
commercialize.
I
You
missed
go
that
out,
one.
if you go out and look online for Element 115, the band, you're going to
Yeah.
see us opening for Alan Parsons and some other famous people. We had
Uh,
a video wall that had a 3D animated alien drummer. Yes, I have met Bob Lazar. Yes, he is a cool guy. Yes, he's very believable. And I do understand mathematically how a particular 290 something, 296 or so isotope of
mhm.
115 would be stable long enough to like months like put into a reactor and do its thing and bombard it, hit
Yeah.
116 and make a gravity amplifier and do all. Yeah, I understand all
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
yeah, very understandable, very believable. But yes, one element 115 was the name of our band.
Okay. Boy, oh boy, ignore that question. I missed that one totally.
No, it's all
So,
good. It's all good. And people just need to, I'll give the email for people to ask
yeah.
questions. So if
All
I
right.
flow past something too fast, but now we want to get up on that alien contact. And so the
Yes.
weird things started happening inside the house, like a ball of light flying through our bedroom. Like what else do we have? Oh, the shadow being that walked through our house. All three of us saw, and our son as well as my wife and myself. And then the coup de grace was in July of 2001. You remember what happened in September of 2001? So in July of 2001, I'm awakened at 3 in the morning, levitated out of my bed. Carla's numbed, every muscle numbed. She can't move anything. And I'm floated down past the end of our California King waterbed and into the hallway. And once started moving down the hallway, I was rotated while I was moving down the hallway from horizontal to vertical and set on my feet right before the end of the hallway where I could see the front door, which would be the runaway exit in this situation. And I'm set on my feet, and that's the first time I realized that my arms and legs were numbed until that point. But now I'm able to either meet or fleet, as the saying goes. So I don't run away from anything. So I turned into the kitchen around the wall. I knew they were there. I could feel them. I turned into the kitchen, expecting to see a few of those 40-inch grayish green, how do I say, programmable biological entities that people call grays, the short
It
grays.
is.
And they are that's what I was expecting. And I'm ready to battle these guys telepathically because there's no way I'm going to battle them physically. They just levitated me down the hallway. Have you ever heard of float foo? Me either. No such thing. So
No.
when I turn the corner to meet them, I'm staring because in the inner circle, we were all instructed if we ever met ET, never to look into their eyes. Never look into ET's eyes. That's how they numb you. That's how they hypnotize you without even trying. They have to work at it. 3 of them had to work at it to do it from down the end of the house. But uh, I was expecting them to be about, the yay highs. So I'm looking at what would be their chin, probably about 30 inches off the floor. And I turned into that kitchen ready to yell at them telepathically. And I saw like legs, kneecaps, legs, and legs. So there's 6 legs. And what's the first thing you do? You tip your head back, right? So I'm tipping my head back to see how tall these suckers were. And I had 8 foot 2 inch clearance in my kitchen, and these were 8 foot tall beings.
Mm.
And I think I may have sent you a picture of my wife's painting of one of them through my description of it to her. I may be able to pull it up here and show it to you on camera. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But these Cruxians were 8 foot tall, all looking down at me, and I'm now up to about their chin and starting to yell telepathically at extremely high speed, as loud as I possibly can. Who are you? Where you're from? Who are you? Where you're from? Who are you? Where you're from? Only it's really fast because you can think at orders of magnitude faster than you can speak. And I'm really good with my mind. I use it all the time, as you can imagine. So I'm telepathically screaming at them, filling out the transport tube between us with my information so that they can't get in my head. At least that's what I thought. Ah, wrong. Uh,
Yeah.
they are amazing creatures. These are Cruxians, by the way. I later found out. They're from the Crux constellation, the Southern Cross group of stars. And they didn't want me to know anything more than that as far as detail of where they were from. Their mission was to give me information, to give you, to give mankind, to give 7,000 people. Because what they did was they contacted 1 million Earth humans between 2000 and 2002 and gave them information that each of us is supposed to give 7,000 people, because back then 7 billion was the magic number. And then all of us, if we took the information and did what they would expect, which they do not understand human psychology at all. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
they don't under, they don't under, they don't have that emotional thing. They don't understand it at all. So they've got this understanding that they just tell 1 million humans, and 1 million humans are going to tell 7,000 each, and we're all going to be ready for high school. That's what I
Yeah.
call all of us playing up for the watchers out there. High school is what I call playing up in the space faring species community. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like the 7 space stations that are around the Earth and the 100 different species that we're interacting with from our local star cluster up there. So that kind of, we could all be playing baseball with reptoids or mantids or something if we could be in high school. The majority of humans are not ready for high school, and that's why we're not there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so the meeting with the ETs gave me, I don't want to give away, I want people to watch the video, get all the details, but I'll answer questions. But anyways, so the meeting with those ETs, when I started telepathically yelling at them, they numbed my brain, my biggest
Mm.
weapon.
Yeah.
You know,
What did they
my brain. And
what did they tell you to tell us?
Right? It's kind of important, you might think. Here's two of the main things. Well, first of all, they want us to grow up. We can't join high school if we're killing humans. We can't join high school, especially if we're killing baby humans. We haven't reached a level of maturity where we're tame enough, unferal enough to play with other species. Okay. So, and that, by the way, was a decision that was last made March 13th, 1997, officially made by the Planetary Consortium. So that Phoenix Lights, it was called, that was 42 different craft meeting at South Mountain in Phoenix, which is really Sierra Estrella, for those of you who speak Spanish. And that meeting was the last deciding meeting for whether or not humans are ready to join high school en masse. And of course, it was decided that we weren't, and it's a darn good thing because we aren't. The people who are up there are already abusing some humans and stuff at length. And so we have problems here on Earth. We also have problems on Mars. We also have problems on space colonies. That it's inherent in the human because of the human's inability to see the mathematics, to understand what it is they're really doing and the side effects of what they're doing. You have a question. I can hear it in your head, so go ahead.
Yeah. What else did they tell you?
Okay. So number two most important thing. I think I feel this popping out of my ear over here. Number two most important thing. Sorry about that. That ET said for us to all understand is there's no such thing as a benevolent species. There's no such thing as a malevolent species. I hope you can catch that nuance. There's no such thing as a benevolent species, no such thing as a malevolent species. That means taking every individual as an aggregate and then establishing that for the species. Are they malevolent or benevolent? They're neither. There's examples of good and bad in everything, okay, every attitude. I've healed animals, horses, dogs, cats, iguana, I mean, all kinds of things that I've worked on. And there's individuals who are good in that they know you're there to help them and want you to help them. And then bad, like no matter what you try to do to convince them that you're there to help them, they fight you and are angry. So it's kind of the bifurcation in reality of the humanity that's going on right now. And yes, you can quote me on that because that's lyrics in one of my songs. The other thing, major important thing that is number one that ET communicated and what I'm supposed to tell everyone else is this, and that is, you're here, yes, even you are here to do for others. Yes, do for others. Now, thinking about others is great. Praying for others is great. All for it. It's an awesome thing. But we're here because we are in this 3D space. We are here to do for others, not be of service at all. We're not supposed to have servants. We're not supposed to have slaves. We're not supposed to have employees. We're not supposed to have any of that. I hope we learn to grow out of that. We're supposed to have the desire inherent in the individual as it goes through its pretend life that it wants to help somebody. And so if you set that up as a premise, as a foundation, this verse is mathematically set up to present you with an opportunity to do, guess what? Help somebody. And then you have to do it, follow through it, make it real. Okay. and then you smile and they smile and the ether around you grows, and therefore the ether of the planet is increased by just a little bit, and there is no
Mm-hmm.
quantum, it's all ether. And so once you understand, go back to 1890 and understand that
Yeah.
that they covered up with this whole quantum thing. The ether is what we all are manipulating to create our reality. And once
Yeah.
you figure that out and the math of it, man, it's amazing. Your life is amazing.
Yeah. Kind of working together as equals.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Equal
Yeah.
participants, equal opportunists.
Mm-hmm.
We should, and part of the reason that we're not invited into high school is that we don't understand the amazing mathematical function that is life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people as a rule. Yes, there's some scientists that are biologists and they understand this, and at least they know there's two genders. But there's the general public don't even have a basic understanding of the science slash math that they are surrounding themselves in. And then in today's world, with the blue screen generation, now generations, they don't even see the trees and the mountains and the stuff around them. They only see the blue screen on their
Mm-hmm.
device.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that's drawing us away from high school, by the way.
Yeah. And right now I see we are down at the bottom of the hour. So for those of you that joined us late, we are talking with Michael O'Sedona, and he is in Sedona, Arizona. And he'd been talking about his face-to-face meeting with extraterrestrials and what they told him to tell us. And if you came here late, you need to go back and listen to that because there's some pearls in there. And he is also an author. And yeah, you have a, there you go. That's the picture. Okay. Yep. There they are. And
Yeah.
do you have a book, your book close by so you can show it or
This is my book. Now,
okay.
this is different than any other book ever. But listen, how cool this book is. I pulled this from the future. This book right here, it says, "Wake up and do something. How meeting extraterrestrials changed my life." I hope you can read that. And this is a slap bracelet, right? But the slap bracelet has on it a jump drive.
Oh.
And this jump drive has, okay, check out this list. It has the ebook for those of you who are ebook users. It has a PDF book if you want the full color pictures and everything else involved to read and print and make your own printout copy of it. It has the audio book, which I read personally, is about 3 hours and 10 minutes or so for the audio book. It has the Wake Up album. It has the Do Something album. It has Mississippi Queen, Hats Off to the Bull, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, Crawl Away. Yes, I even covered Tool. And I licensed all, those are all licensed. And played all the instruments, did all the vocals on those cover tracks. And most of the instruments and all the vocals on the Wake Up album and the Do Something album. And all of that is available on this $20 mailed to your address in the United States for that $20, this
Mm.
physical book. And then
Oh.
once you take the data to your hard drive, then you can gift this to a friend. I don't care,
Wow.
share it with a
Yeah.
friend.
But is
So
there a can where can we get them?
wakeupanddo something.com.
Okay.
So
There
right
you
there,
go.
just real easy. It's a PayPal thing,
Right.
use your credit card, wakeupanddo something.com. Thank you for letting me. The book has great information. It has a picture of. I wish I had it with me right now. It has a picture of me as Benjamin Franklin and as me, because I was Benjamin Franklin in a prior life. That's in the book. Also, I talk about the chemtrails situation. including the aluminum oxide, barium titanate, and strontium components and things. I talk about lucid dreams that I had when I was a teenager. Once I met ET, by the way, no more dreams. I've had no
Yeah.
dreams in 25 years. Um, I've had a scene or a picture or a name maybe 10 times in the last 20 years when I wake
Oh,
up. But that's it. No dreaming anymore.
yeah.
I
Now
might be
you,
I might be being used while I'm asleep, but I don't know.
yeah, you do something other also really interesting. You are in Sedona and you take people out into the wilderness out there outside of Sedona at night with the night vision goggles, and you see some stuff up in the sky.
It's
Tell
even
us
better.
what,
It's
yeah,
even
tell us
better than
about that.
I don't even have to take you to the boonies. I rent my spot on top of Airport Mesa. So the highest place around with the
Hmm.
clearest view around is mine. And that's where I take people to utilize uh, usually an ATN PVS-7 third generation current military ground troop issue US, not for export night vision goggle, so that they can enjoy part of our $100 trillion space program that almost nobody talks about. And I show you different kinds of ships, the paths that they're flying, identify who they are, usually what kind of mission they're on, the speeds that they fly reveal different things. So we see satellites. Yes, we see satellites. Communication satellites fly polar paths. Weather satellites go from west to east. Anything else that we can see without magnification, and we don't have magnification, just the night
Mhm.
vision, light amplification, we can only see spaceship size objects out to about 1,000 miles. So
Oh,
the stuff that we're seeing is under 1,000 miles. And so when we see the diagonal to the cardinal going out, at 45 northeast perfect, and they're increasing in speed and then getting lighter and lighter. Those are not satellites. Those are shuttle ships that go back and forth to the space stations that I spoke about earlier.
yeah.
So yeah, we see all kinds of stuff. But you want to hear about the coolest thing? Coolest thing we ever saw?
Okay.
You want to hear the coolest thing? Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
The coolest thing, I think, in my opinion, in doing this for 7 years, every night that it's clear, we had a April 18th of 2023. We had 23 guests, wedding party, and Carla and myself on the tour. So 25 of us, 25 goggles, 25 of us watching the space. And we see a ship come along this way and a satellite come along this way. And when the ship got within a certain range diagonally of the satellite, it shot a beam weapon, not a projectile, a solid beam weapon for probably a full second. And that satellite exploded into three pieces and rained down like three shooting star pieces in slow motion for about a second and a half until they burnt out. And all of us witnessed it. One of the most amazing things. Now, the war, World War IV, was going on then. In fact, it was pretty much at a peak at that point. It ended in December of 2024. But that was just part of you know what's really going on up above us that people don't know about.
Yeah.
We have 5,000 spacecraft. We have 3,500 flying, not flying, 3,500 moving in space because they don't fly. There's no air. There's no aerodynamic. There's no Bernoulli principle. So they are moving through space, protecting Earth in orbit, taking people back and forth from the space stations to the bases, going out to Mars colony, going out to a couple of the bases in the Jupiter ring. I'm not supposed to talk about, going to Proxima Centauri's second planet. There's all kinds of things we're doing with the TR3 fifth generation, the E. generation that bends time space. We're traveling about 100 times the speed of light now. So that kind of stuff is going on. And how many people in the audience know about this? I don't know. Maybe your audience does,
Yeah.
but not many really do. So that's part of what makes my tour interesting, is that I have all that background. Now, in addition, ET, my meeting with ET was primarily a 12-minute download
Mhm.
where they gave me the ability to answer any question on any topic. And that's because they gave me the key to jump into the stream of all knowledge
Mhm.
and pull out anything that my brain can put into a question. It pulls the answer. So as long as you're asking me a question in either English or German, and it doesn't resolve to an individual, you can't ask me what Tommy did a week ago. Okay, no, that doesn't work. But you can ask about me. I'm the individual you can ask about. No other individual you can ask about. But any other question, and I do this on conferences, 2 and 3 microphones at a time.
Mhm.
So, there's a microphone, there's your answer. There's a microphone, there's a question, there's the answer. There's a question, there's the answer. There's the question, back over again. Boom, boom, boom. So, that's what my tour is about. A lot of is answering questions, because guess what? Guess what, Aage?
Huh?
Knowledge defeats fear,
Yeah.
and fear is the great stopper of all mankind.
Mhm.
So if
That's right.
if if you can have the knowledge that defeats the fear, then there's no stopping you from reaching your ultimate potential. That's why I'm here. That's what I
Yeah.
try to do. Give you that knowledge so that you make that jump.
Now, you mentioned that we were traveling to other planets and Proxima. Now, for those out there that say, yeah, sure you are, but no. There is the head of the Lockheed Skunk Works in 1978 when he retired. He said in an interview, if you have seen it on Star Trek, we already know how to do it.
Yeah. And it looks different. It's not the big stretch of light, but they're actually bending, they're twisting into a torsion the
Mhm.
time-space field. So you're relative to the craft, it's twisting and therefore shortening the distance to the destination, and then it lets go. So it's shpta. And it really it's only about, see, if we have to get outside of local, what's called local gravitations, and then you kick it in. And so it takes about 2 weeks to get to um, stars within 60 light years. It takes about two
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
So,
Proxima is one of them.
there you go. Oh yeah, that one's only 2.3. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. But on your tours at night from Sedona, how would people be able to participate in that? Where do they go to contact you?
Oh, it's real simple. You just go to ArizonaUFOtours.com, and there's only one button right there on the front page. You click on that, it takes you right to the scheduling software. You put in your
Hmm.
name, number of people, your email address, your phone number in case we have to cancel because of desert weather. It can change in an hour. And what tour you're taking, because I have an evening tour, I have a pre-dawn tour, I have a custom personal tour where I come to you at your Airbnb. I have a lunch where you can just talk to me as a contactee. There's several different kinds of things that you can interface with me on, and you make it right. I don't take money online unless you're doing a personal tour that takes up the whole day. It's all yours, and nobody else can do anything with me. So that requires a deposit of $250, which is refundable. But it's that's all I can. I try to keep it as easy as possible. I don't take money online for tours in general, and that way you don't have to wait for refunds if it has to cancel. I do ask
Yeah,
that people, things have changed a lot in the last 40 years. I do ask that people, if you do make a reservation, even though I don't take money, please treat it like a reservation. So if you're going to cancel, please let me know,
yeah,
by email, which is given to you, or phone, please let me know that you can't make it, just as a
Hmm.
courtesy. I really appreciate that. So
No,
I take silver, by the way. I take 999 fine 1 ounce silver. I take let's see, I take Zelle and PayPal, but cash has a 20% discount, so that's pretty good.
you mentioned that you could answer questions when you observed us supposedly going to the moon in 1969. If you look at the science behind doing that, going there is one thing, but we have two major obstructions that I have not gotten around, and that is the Van Allen belt and the fuel in the lander on the moon could not reach back into orbit. What would you say about those two things?
I would say, what about air conditioning packs trying to disseminate heat into a vacuum? I mean, there's all kinds of science that shows that what they showed us did not happen. But are
Yeah.
you ready? I was there in 1969 in La Crescenta, California. NASA came to our school and did a thing in the auditorium with the spacesuit. I mean, I was there. I was embedded in the energy. This is important to know because of who I am. I was embedded into the energy of the space program, just like 2 years earlier, I was 5 miles from the corner of Haight and Ashbury in Tiburon, California in 1967 when the music movement started and I started playing guitar. And so it's like these energy submersions that I was put into in my life all ended up contributing to what I am now. And I'm grateful for those things. So here's what happened. If I can quote Monk, here's what happened. So the United States first landed on the moon in 1952.
Yeah. I thought it was 53.
Germany first landed on the moon in 1942.
Yep.
All right. So now that we've got that out of the way, do you really think that if we're going to go back to the moon, if we wanted to kind of make it look like our astronauts are going to the moon, wouldn't it make sense to create some kind of a cheap local imitation of something that people could swallow and then put them into a real spaceship that you're not allowed to show us and take them to the moon in that? Does that not make more sense? Of course it does.
Yep.
The flimsy gold armed things on the lunar module, give me a break. And the spring that supposedly, separated the ascent module with that teeny bit of pulse along with it. The moon is 1/6 the gravity, not 1/600th the gravity. So that means you've got to approach some, I don't know how to do this in kilometers, some 2,500 miles per hour to escape lunar gravity. And that thing wasn't going to do it, folks. It wasn't going to do it. So could they have dropped LMs on the moon and dropped cars? Oh, by the way, in that car is sitting on one side. How do you ballast that?
Yeah.
In your thrusting and stuff. You've got to be kidding me. So, there's all kinds of things that weren't true, but they did go. So the astronauts went, they just didn't go in Apollo. And so, yes, they launched command modules in LEO. And by the way, you get around the Van Allen belt by going out the poles, buddy. There's virtually no Van Allen belt at the poles. So if you are in launch and you're in your globe and you're launching this way and you come up like this and you leave out the poles, as long as you're at 17,500 escape velocity, you're good to go with a little tiny bit of gold foil. Okay. All right. You don't need lead, just a little gold foil, and that will, or equivalent by way of anti-gravity shielding, of course, plasma manipulation around you. That will
Yeah.
certainly do it. because you're neutralizing whatever it is with the plasma. But
And
I'm talking.
let's take it back to the Germans in 1942 going to
Yeah,
the moon. They could do that because they had the Haunebue 2 and the Haunebue, probably even the Haunebue 3 at the time, which had the Glocke or the
the
bell
Glock,
inside, which created a magnetic shield around
energy.
the ship.
Yeah,
And that
that's his reaction.
would
Yeah,
get them through the Van Allen belt. But what about our astronaut did not have the Glocke?
that well, they did in what they went in. They didn't in what they showed you.
There you
They went
go.
to the moon. They
Now I'm
went to
with
the
you.
moon. Look, please understand. Aldrin and Armstrong went to the moon, and it messed them up because they couldn't tell you how they really went to the moon, and that
Yeah.
whole spacesuit thing they were wearing was Bravo Sierra, and that the whole uh, lunar module thing was Bravo Sierra in a California desert. Look, um, they went in real spacecraft, and when they landed, they got the middle finger and were told not to come back.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
But Apollo 12 was already on its way, economically, schedule wise, And when they got there, they were told with a bigger middle finger, do not come back. Now, Apollo 13, while it didn't really have, the Apollo hardware going to the moon, they did have our real spaceship, our real 1950s interplanetary spaceship going to the moon, and it got shot. And they had to turn around and come back. And here's the thing. Right after that, a contract was developed so that we could get 4,000 square feet on the backside of the moon and take over an old Nazi lab for reals without
Yeah.
having to always defend it and rent it for reals. But it cost us some human lives and some things in the process to get that. But they really wanted the breakaway Earth controllers really wanted that ability to have that backside of the moon base to block the radio transmissions of Earth when they're doing space communications at all.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, yeah, the
Yes.
box
Yeah.
with the arms, with the swastika arms, or without the swastika arms.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's in the Schrodinger crater. So if you write to NASA and have them send you a picture of the Schrodinger crater, from what I understand now, is that that's where the swastika building is. But you can see the rough surface all the way around, except for one spot where everything is smooth.
smooth. Yeah, they love that
And
smoothing tool in Photoshop, don't they?
it's smudged out.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're
That's
covering
why
it. But
NASA
uh,
never a straight answer.
yeah, we have a picture on our website, broadcastteamalpha.com, of the building, the original building the Germans found and fell in love with and started rebuilding part of it. It's a
Yep,
very large building, over a mile long, but
yep,
it's formed as a swastika.
yep. They put the wings on it.
Love
Yep.
you brought that up.
Well, I'm just here to probably corroborate a lot of stuff you already know. Give me a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Go
Wow.
ahead. Give me a question. Any question you want.
Oh well,
Got
gosh,
5 minutes left.
we got 5 minutes left here. What other important thing would you think people need to know right now?
It's important for them to find sources of information, like you, Aage, um, like Truth on TV, like other outlets. I don't want to leave anybody
In
else
your
out.
in your
You know,
TV station?
Yeah, well, Truth on TV is my channel, and that's where I have 240 hours of documentaries that are not allowed on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube because they tell you the truth. And
Mhm.
there's no commercials on my channel either, by the way. It's very important to note. No matter where you go, there's commercials, but on my channel, there's no commercials. It does cost you $49 a year, but but and when your brain gets really tired of going down and stretched and everything from going down those rabbit holes, I've got 2 years of Get Smart, The Lucy Show, Rocky and Bullwinkle, F Troop. I mean, all kinds of comedy, and still no commercials. Okay, because it's important that you have some place you can go where you can just get the entertainment, and that's But that's I mean, there's so much from revealing through remote viewing uh, Mars, or from understanding what really happened in Ukraine, or having 9/11 fully explained, or how to get your sovereignty and not be part of their system, or alternate energy stuff, or it's like all these documentaries, including medical. I beat stage 4 cancer in 7 months. It was metastasized throughout my bones. They told me to get my affairs together. I haven't had a marker of cancer in my blood for over a year. This is, all this information is on like my channel, but it's also on other places. If you know how to use a search engine, let me just close with this. Google is not a search engine. Okay. Google is Alphabet Inc., as in CIA, as in NSA, as in 3-letter alphabet agencies. Google is owned by Alphabet Inc., and its purpose is to give you their version of what they want you to believe is reality, and for you to give them all your reality. See, and that's trick. That's a trick. Don't fall for it. There is one search engine that I know of that is not owned by them, and that's called Yandex. Yandex.com. It's out of Russia, but it's not run by Alphabet Inc. And so, it's amazing when you search things, the differences you'll get. Try it between Google and Yandex.
Mention
Really?
that name again, and how people can find that search engine out of Russia that don't exclude anything.
It's Yandex, Yandex, Yandex.com. Make that your default search engine in your browser. Just as my recommendation. I'm not telling you what to do. That's what I did. And I like the results so much better. It doesn't start with ABC News, Salon, New York Times, all this on results, which, if you're watching this show, it's all Bravo Sierra. What you want the truth, why not throw away the first 2 pages automatically of their BS by using Yandex? I do not get paid. I'm not, have no commercial interaction with Yandex, but I just want you all to be able to get the information that you deserve.
Yeah. We got 3 minutes left, but I just got one little question left.
All right, I'm ready.
When will the average Joe Blow and Harry Ho handle, when will they have disclosure, do you think? How do you think that could unfold for them?
When they wake up and move out of the woke version of reality and into the awakened version of reality. In the awakened version of reality, there are no networks. There are no television networks any more than you would listen to the town liar and expect to get the truth. You have to, so the general public, as long as they remain dumb to the fact that reality is not given in legacy media, that your answer is never. Okay. So, but the masses are moving. I saw a poll recently that showed 7.5% of people believe what they see on network TV. So we're winning. We're winning. I know people are subscribing to my channel all the time. So we're winning. We're pulling people away, from the mainstream. And so everybody know. My question would be back to you. What point would you consider that we've statistically become aware? Is it at 1 sigma? Is it 66% of the people? Is it at 75% of the people? Is it at 88.7% of the people? What do you consider where the general public has exposure? And then I might be able to give you a more specific answer.
I'm if it was the way I look at it, I would say probably around 20% of the people are pretty awake or more. And another 30% are the ones that say, yeah, I can accept it, but I would like to know more.
Okay, well,
That's
I
how,
would say
that's
to me, my number is 66%. So
really,
if 66% of the population understands that this didn't go to the moon,
yeah.
but something did, and something has been hidden from you for 50 years, then then at that point they're ready for disclosure. And I think
Yeah.
that Aage, I think that we're getting pretty darn close.
It's going to be fun.
I think it's pretty darn close. And I get people on the tour. It's funny because I'll get like 8 people on a tour. One of them will be a real skeptic, and 5 of them will be very aware. And so one will ask a question and I'll answer it. The other ones will go, yeah, 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 yeah. And the skeptic's going, huh, what?
Yeah.
Everybody knows this but me, you know. So and now that person's aware, and so that's how we do it. That's how we roll them in. We don't yell in their face. We just share the
Yeah.
information in their
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, it would be fun, especially if you have disclosure unfolding. It would be fun walking down the street and see all the heads exploding. That'll be blast.
Well, if you've
But
seen my truck, I get to see people look at and have their heads explode all the time. If you've seen my
yeah,
truck with the turret on top and the laser cannon, yeah, it's fun.
yeah. Tell us one more time where they can reach you, the different websites and what you do.
Okay, so just a couple of the main things. Like Aage says, I have like 50 different things, but a couple of the main things. Arizona UFO tours. If you're going to come into Sedona, you got to go on a UFO tour, and I would suggest mine. ArizonaUFOtours.com. If you want the truth on TV and you can't find the truth on TV, you can come to truthontv.tv. That's my channel that is uncensored and full of all kinds of information that I know you'll love, as well as comedy. And my shows, Sedona News and Sedona UFOs, are also on Truth on TV. And the whole history is on Truth on TV. But the 2 URLs to go immediately to see one episode of things is SedonaUFOs.tv has got my latest SedonaUFOs.tv show, and the one episode that stays up there all the time, which is where I talk about my ET contact. And there's a lot more detail than what we gave today
Yeah,
on there. And then the other URL that's on there is sedonews.website. And Sedonews is my bi-weekly news show that I was going to do today, but now I'm going to do it tomorrow because I did this today. And it's great. It's my show. I can do it when I want. And sedonews.website is also a free location where you can see my latest Sedonews at the top. And then if you want to find out about how I battled Baphomet and almost lost my life a year ago and won, then you can see the second video on that sedonews.website page. And that's in about 10 minutes into that episode of Sedona News, I talk about my success in defeating an attempt to kill me by a spiritual being. So I hope that you get a chance to just learn more than you ever thought you could, because
yeah,
defeating fear is the key to success, and you defeat fear with knowledge.
yeah. Yes. So then go visit him in Sedona. And gosh, this was fun. And I would like you to come back sometime. There's so much more to talk about.
Oh,
So
we didn't touch Terra Anomalies, the band, Element 115, the band,
yeah,
the music people I've interfaced with, working on missile and satellite systems, going to Camp Pendleton and having hair
yeah.
down to the waist and talking to them about my new stuff that I
There
invented and
you go.
like
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
That's another show.
That's good. So thank you very much for being with us, and thank you for watching. And if you like what you heard, please subscribe. That's going to help us a lot. And until next time,